Hey guys, so I haven't done a video for a while. I've been busy doing other things such as ranking in the classic WoW PvP ranking system, which is the worst ranking system ever made. Um, and it took up a lot of my time. So I'm back with a new video, and this list is from Mathers Van Gogh. You might remember him. He was the guy that came up with the creeping chill list during the Ren and 6 meta, where it was just Rug Delver with Ren and 6 versus everything else, and they had like 3 cages in the sideboard, and we just made that creeping chills because they pretty much couldn't beat creeping chill even with a cage. Um, this list is obviously not running creeping chills because we don't have Ren and 6 legal anymore. This is a list which looks quite similar to a standard list, but there are a few little things different, so let's point them out. We've got 4 Putrid Imps. That's not very standard. You might remember, actually, if you go back and look at my videos, one of the first videos I did after the London Mulligan came in, where we cut all of the street wraiths from the list, we went up to 4 Putrid Imps. And I did quite well at the start of the London Mulligan meta with a 4 Putrid Imp list. So it's exciting to see that come back, because I think Putrid Imp's a really underrated card in the deck. I think it helps in a lot of the deck's worse matchups. I think it helps versus a lot of hate cards. Obviously it's bad against the quick decks, but against all of the slow decks and the control decks, it's pretty much the best card, except for Lion's Eye Diamond in the deck. Lion's Eye Diamond's obviously the best card in every single matchup. Please don't ever cut Lion's Eye Diamond. I see some people sometimes suggest you should trim Lion's Eye Diamond in some matchups. Don't ever trim Lion's Eye Diamond. It's like it's so much better than every other card in the deck. It's ridiculous how good it is. So yeah, 4 Putrid Imps, something that's come back. I'm not going to say I invented 4 Putrid Imps lists, because I didn't, but it's something that we haven't really seen in the metagame since the London Mulligan came in. 1 Careful Study, that's obviously to fit in the 4 Putrid Imps. Generally you'd have like a 3-2 split of Careful Study to Putrid Imp, but obviously he's gone up to 4 and 1. And then we've got an Ox of Agonis. You could cut the Ox and put in another Careful Study if you want, but he's chosen to run the Ox, and it did very well for him. He ended up winning the challenge with it, and lands wise he's gone down to 12. I really don't like going to 12 lands. I think it's wrong. I think a lot of the time you want more lands. Generally you don't draw any lands except the ones that you get in your opener, so you want your openers to have as many lands as possible without diluting the deck. But he does have 2 Lotus Petals, so we've still got 14 mana sources, so normally you'd be 13 a petal. He's got 12 and 2 petals. It's not the end of the world. There are pluses and minuses. This is something that I sometimes do against like loam decks. I sometimes cut a land to put in the second petal from the sideboard. Obviously having 2 petals in the main deck frees up a sideboard slot, so let's see what he's done over there. We got 3 Wisp Mares. Obviously just a great card all round. I've been a big proponent of Wisp Mare since the beginning. 2 Wear Tears. Personally I'm not a big fan of Wear Tear, but I think it's alright. Obviously it's fairly versatile. 3 Leyline of Sanctity. That's I'd say what the second petal in the main allowed him to do. Bring the 3rd Leyline of Sanctity in, or the 4th Leyline of the Void, whichever you rather. Personally, I generally tend to go with 3 Leyline of the Voids because I'm greedy, but Yep, so we got 3 Leyline of Sanctities, great against depths, lands, any decks with crypts, looping crypts, painter, emery decks. You got the 1 Dread Return target of Ashen Rider, and we've got a 1 of Shenanigans. Shenanigans obviously good against Cage. I'm not sure whether he sideboards it in against anything other than Cage decks. Personally, I wouldn't bring it in against anything other than Cage. If you think they've got crypts, I'd bring in Leyline of Sanctities. If I think they have relics, I'd probably not even bother with Shenanigans. I don't think, maybe I would if they've got loads of relics, but generally I find relics easier to beat because it can't be activated until turn 2. Yeah, list looks pretty good. Obviously it won a challenge, which is really good. Congrats to him. This is a nice list. It's nice to see that lists are somewhat converging. We've definitely got a core shell to the deck now. I think the flex slots in the deck are pretty much these 4 cards. I feel like everything else is pretty much set in stone. I don't think you can actually flex much more than just these 4 cards. You could flex an Icarid, but I feel like this is the 4 flex slots, and every time I cut an Icarid I end up going back to putting 4 Icarids in the deck later. So yeah, I think this is a pretty solid deck. Oh, obviously, yeah, this deck's missing a land, so you'd have 1 less flex, so it would be like these 3 slots are really the flex, because I don't really like 12 lands, but whatever. Obviously it worked for him. It's not, I don't think mathematically it's a massive thing, but personally, for my playstyle, I like to be able to have mana sources. When you have more lands, you have to mulligan less. Obviously, this deck mulligans really well, but you don't want to be in a situation where you have a really good hand and it's just missing a land. And you only need 1 land, so having an extra land helps with that. It can make or break a hand simply by just having 1 extra land in it. But as I said, he replaced it with a Lotus Petal, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah, let's try this out, see how it goes. Tarksar 1990. I think I played against this guy before and he was on lands. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't like this hand. This is close to a mulligan, but I like the fact that it's got 2 Cabal therapies. Well, let me be cheeky and see what he was on last time I played against him. Yeah, he was on the Primeval Titan Elvish Reclaimer deck. I don't know. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna bottom that and that. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I should bottom that and that, because then I have guaranteed Colosseum next turn. I feel like bottoming, no, I feel like bottoming this second Cabal Therapy is definitely a mistake. Yeah, my main gripe with this is just that it doesn't let us Colosseum next turn. That's why I wanted to keep the second stick with him. But yeah, not ideal. See, if we'd have kept the second stink, we'd have one, we'd have a second dredger, so we wouldn't have to do this to ourselves, and also two, we would be in a better position overall. Oh, I should have played out the Colosseum. There was no reason not to there. That was a mistake by me. Because we could have done it in the upkeep in response to the Ichrid triggers. That was really bad by me, actually. I was like, why would there be a reason to play out the Colosseum? I didn't want it getting wastelanded, but in reality, if we get wastelanded, it's the same thing either way. And now we just have one less Ichrid. And also, yeah, that was just really bad. We should have played out the Colosseum there. Bad play by us. I'm assuming his hand's a bunch of green cards. My name Elvish Reclaimer. Okay. Caracas top deck's really good for him. That's really annoying for me. So, let me think about this. I want to tax him as much on mana as possible, so I definitely want to play out the Kogak again, however. Am I better doing that? I think I'm better putting him to lower life than sacking an Archimedes to do it. We could discard ourselves, but we're not running low on things in the graveyard, so I'm not too concerned on that. And if he like bogs us straight up, then I would rather have more stuff in the grave in my hand for a loot spell. So this will put him lethal on board unless he has a Caracas. He's basically priced into getting a Tabernacle at this point, I think. Oh, okay, obviously, yeah, that doesn't tax him on any mana in reality because he can just do that. But still, he pretty much needs a Tabernacle here or he loses. Okay, do I think he's on ley lines? Good question. I don't think so. I didn't make any note about him being on ley lines, so this is where having 4 Putrid Imps comes in really handy actually, because I actually like taking out Oxovigonus versus these decks, just because it's generally not something that comes up very often. It doesn't really help much. They don't have surgical, so I tend to take it out versus like depths. I'm not sure that's right, but personally it feels right to me. It's also just a dead card in hand. I tend to take out 1 Thug. This is my dislike of having 3 Leyline and Sanctities, because you want to bring in Drebbaton, you want to bring in Ashen Rider, and you want to kind of keep Hogak, just because it lets you make loads of power, even if it's somewhat bad against Karakas. You don't want to really go down on mana sources. I mean, I could cut a Pedal, but I really don't want to do that. So I'm in a situation where I have to cut a Thug, which I don't want to do, but I kind of have to, or I could cut a Breakthrough, but Breakthrough is really good. And I kind of don't want to. I don't want to go down a Breakthrough and a Study, so I kind of have to cut a Putrid Imp, even though I really don't want to. Which is part of the reason why personally I tend to play 2 Leyline of Sanctities to avoid this situation. Okay, so this hand I don't think is keepable. It doesn't do enough. It's not especially resilient to crop rotation, and it's not especially fast. On the draw, this does nothing for 2 turns, so I'm gonna mull. If he has exactly crop rotation, this hand is quite good, but I don't like the fact that we'd have to bottom 2 Icarids when we only have 3 Icarids in the deck. Also, this hand's terrible against Elvish Reclaimer. So I'll mull to 4. The 4 is not very good though. I'm gonna keep Therapy and that. I'm gonna bottom Hogak, Bridge, Icarid. So this is working out quite well because we get to main crop rotation here. Whoa! Max punished. Okay. Now he's got a Green Sun Zenith for Elvish Reclaimer, I think. Yep. Okay, now we're in a really bad spot because he's got a surgical. Ooh, that's pretty good. Maybe we can bait out. I'm gonna slow roll it. I don't think he'll surgical us. Oh, that's really good. I'm still not going to do anything here, I don't think. I think we're better off slow rolling this. Just going to bog me straight away. Okay. Oh, I remember. He's got a bunch of Vesuvas in the deck as well. Okay, that was a mistake. I didn't think about that. It was stupid of me. Of course he's got Vesuvas. He's playing Cloud Post. Okay, I'm just going to scoop here actually. I don't want to give him more info. Yeah, I should have played that differently. I should have forced it. Yeah. No, we're not winning that. We are not winning that one. I actually like this. I'm going to keep this. Oh, that Narcomoeba top deck's absolutely terrible there. That's so bad. So we've seen 3 Narcomoebas now. This hand would have been much better if I didn't have the 2 Narcomoebas, but hitting the 3rd Narcomoeba there is just absolutely terrible. And we didn't even hit an Icarus. Oh my god, this is so bad. I was like, well, at least even if we don't hit an Narcomoeba, we can hopefully hit an Icarus and beat a Elvish Reclaimer, but now I don't think we can even do that. I think we're going to lose this game. Yeah, drawing that second Narcomoeba, because we literally flipped half our deck, right? So even though we only have 2 Narcomoebas, our odds of hitting a second one, I think are above 50%. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that was just terrible. Okay, well, I mean, he didn't Reclaimer us, so maybe he's got Green Suns for Reclaimer. But then we should hopefully be able to return a Ashen Rider, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. We pray. Unless he's got a surgical. I don't know if we'd be in such a bad position if we'd hit that Narcomoeba rather than drawing it. But that's kind of the deck, so. So we either need to hit a Narcomoeba and a bridge, or a bridge and a Hogak, or 2 bridges. Okay, so he's got the surgical for... That does shuffle the Narcomoeba that we bottomed into the deck and gives us a few more outs here. Okay. We are very dead. We are very dead. I mean, I could have took a natural draw there, but I don't know. I don't like the odds of that. I don't like the odds of that at all. We would have been okay because we'd have drawn a lion's eye diamond there, but I mean, we wouldn't have necessarily been okay. We still needed a lot of stuff to go in our favour. Yeah, we're not winning this game with our Icarid Surgicord and 17 cards left in our deck. So I will scoop it up. Let's see what would have happened if we had not done that. And we had taken a draw. So we'd have hit one Narcomoeba, but with only 2 bridges in the graveyard, we would not have been able to do anything there. So we'd have still lost. Well, we'd have made 2 zombies, but it's not being the Elvish Reclaimer. It would become a 3/4, and then we wouldn't be able to do anything. We'd have no graveyard because we get bogged anyway. That was a bit unlucky. I actually thought we were in a really good spot until we drew that 3rd Narcomoeba, but it happens. That's the deck. In a sick turn of events, we've queued into the exact same guy. That generally only tends to happen if your opponent has just started a fresh league. I don't think we can mull this. I think this hand you have to keep. Yeah, I really don't like playing against these Elvish Reclaimer decks. I think they are a bad matchup for our deck, and I don't really know how to stop them being a bad matchup for the deck, to be honest. Yeah, we were really wanting to top deck a Dryad straight away. That was the reason I was almost wanting to mulligan this hand, but I mean, this hand's like basically the nuts. Yeah, I mean, we can't stop that. I mean, I could discard both Icarids here, but maybe I should have actually. Maybe I should have. Trying the Golgari Thug a turn late as well. This is just a really bad matchup for us. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe we should have mulled, but that hand was like good without drawing a dredger, and we didn't draw a dredger. I don't really know what to say. There's like nothing we can do here. It's really frustrating. We can't just play into this Elvish Reclaimer. We'll just lose. And we know he's got Vesuvas because he's playing Cloud Post. Yeah, there's the Vesuvius I was talking about. We can't even get him to just bog us, because he can just Vesuva it. So you're just casting Emrakul. No, he is just casting Primeval Titan. I don't think even if we... maybe we can make enough power. Let's see, shall we? He's given us an opportunity here. Whoops, I meant to click the Stinkweed Imp there. But we'd have had to have dredged a Golgari Thug anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. If he gets Tabernacle, we're kind of fucked anyway. I think we just need to make as much power as we can here. Whoops, no swearing. No swearing channel. A family-friendly YouTube experience. Need to be careful with my language. Don't want to get my no monetization videos demonetized. Oh look, there's the Tabernacle I was hoping that they didn't have. Great. I really want to just end my own existence right now. I'm really enjoying this game. I don't know, man. Back when it was just crop rotation, these matchups were manageable. Like you could interact with crop rotation, but you just can't interact with Elvish Reclaimer favorably. Like maybe we play Firestorm or something, but it's just so rough. It's so rough. Maybe Firestorm's the answer. Maybe we need to go back to playing Firestorm. I don't know. I don't think Firestorm's an especially good card though. I'm not going to commit more to the board because what's the point? He's got a Tabernacle in hand. Waste of time. Oh, Muddy, top deck. Top deck something big. Oh wait, no, he's just got to IOV again, get Emrakul, cast Emrakul. Okay, we lose. Yeah, okay. Actually, we don't straight away lose. We don't straight away lose. We lose to the Tabernacle the turn after. Because we can block Emrakul. I didn't mean to sacrifice Hogak. That was a mistake. I misclicked, but I don't think it really matters at this point anyway, because he's just going to play Tabernacle, and then we pay 1 to keep the Hogak alive, but it won't kill him, and then he will kill us with an Emrakul the turn after. He doesn't bog us now. Oh no, he's just going to keep emeralding us repeatedly. Okay, that works too, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'll skip to that infinite turns, basically. Ugh. Leyline of Sanctities, that comes out, that comes out, that comes out, that comes out. Dread Return, Ashen Rider, Careful Study comes out. Right. Let's actually draw a Leyline of Sanctity on our multiple this time, that would be really good, especially since we got 3. That hand wasn't keepable, even though it had a Leyline of Sanctity, it didn't do anything. Well, maybe it could have kept it, but... Okay, this is the sort of hand I've been looking for. This is really good, it's resistant to surgical. Does stuff turn 1. This is a great hand. Frustrating we queued into the same guy twice. When I'm making videos I want to show playing against lots of different decks. Maybe in future I'll try and avoid queuing for a little bit after I film the match. I was mostly just annoyed at how the first match went, so I just wanted to play another one and win quick, but yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes MTGO just screws you over with stupid matchmaking. Well, this is okay. We'll name Elvish Reclaimer here. And if he doesn't have Elvish Reclaimer, we'll name whatever else it is he has. Okay. I think we'll name Green Sun Zenith too, because he can't cast... only Once Upon a Time there. Oh, I guess he's scared of me taking Once Upon a Time. But I mean, if he gets anything good, I'm just going to take it out of his hand, and if he doesn't, then I'm going to take the Green Sun Zenith. So personally, I wouldn't have cast the Once Upon a Time there, but maybe he just wants a green source. Okay, well now I'm just going to take your Elvish Reclaimer. Now I'm going to take Green Sun Zenith in case he's drawn a green source. He had, but it couldn't cast Green Sun Zenith. It could have cast the Elvish Reclaimer though. Oh, I should have taken that Putrid Imp, but that doesn't really matter. I'll return Ecrid here. Return Hogak here. Oh, I can blow up his stuff. In fact, I think I'll do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's much better. That's how I want these post-board games to go, ideally. Maybe he just doesn't have crop rotations because he's not seen any. Maybe I should bring the study and take out a Putrid Imp because it's generally better to just try and go fast against Reclaimers, but whatever. I think we keep this Hope to top deck a land. Maybe that's really greedy. But I mean, this isn't terrible. I mean, maybe it is because we had 2 Narcomoebas there. But if we top deck a land, this is okay, right? If we don't top deck a land. Nice, you love to see it. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this one. That was maybe a greedy keep. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this game. I'm gonna scoop that one up. Scoop that one up right away. Ugh, frustrating. I probably shouldn't have kept that hand. That was probably a really greedy hand. I should have mulled, tried to find a Leyline of Sightseeing. We didn't see a keepable hand with Leyline of Sightseeing. We have 3. Which is part of the reason why I don't see the point of running 3, because it makes bringing them in awkward. I don't know. Like, you still want to have a good deck with the Leyline of Sanctities, because you want to have keepable hands. Like, there's a limit to how many you can bring in. It's not like Leyline of the Void where it just insta wins the matchup. You still need to be able to like play the game. Yeah, I don't know. That was frustrating. Game 3, we are on the play against Leashwood. This is our 7. We will keep it. Our chances of bricking here are actually quite high, but I think if we eat just about every card in our graveyard, we should have enough stuff in there. So hopefully we don't brick on this thug. We brick on the thug. Now the awkward part about Ox, you need to check how many cards you have in graveyard. So we can eat Narcomoeba, Lion's Eye, Diamond, Cephalic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have to eat an Icarus, but I'm okay with that. It's only really bad if Thug bricks again. Thankfully it did not. Yeah, this is what's so great about Ox. Like, Ox was a bit awkward there because we had to eat an Icarus, but it's still just a 5-3. Like, it's still just a 5-3, you know. I named Dark Ritual in the blind generally because it's the card we're most afraid of. Okay, so we know it's Burn. So against Burn, the only thing I'm afraid of them doing is leylining us. So I generally just blindside for them having leylines. Ox isn't really necessary in the matchup, so I side it out. Like, Ox is a card I've been siding out a fair amount of the time just because it's like, it's kind of a win more card. It doesn't really help your hands. Like, it's a dead card in the opening hand, and you often don't need it to win, especially if you're blindsiding, you think they might have leylines. I take out an Icarus against Burn just because I don't really care. I'll probably keep the 4th Thug in. I want to go down a Petal, but I can't because of the fact that we've only got... I don't want to go below 14 mana sources, really. I only tend to do that if I'm siding in loads of cards. Not go... Actually, no, I could go to 13 mana sources. I do that sometimes, especially when I'm blind sideboarding against Leyline. Like, just from random decks that aren't like prison decks. Because I want to keep in as many enablers as possible. I don't care about going fast if they have Leyline, because generally the decks that are just like not prison decks that side in Leyline, you don't need to speed them, so you can take out a Lotus Pill. I'm going to keep this just because it answers Leyline, and if I draw any enabler this goes off. It's also got a Gemstone Mine, which is obviously a really good land in this matchup because it doesn't hurt us. All of the other lands do. Also, I can just discard the hand size here. Another good thing about keeping a 7. We might just get raced here though. Given that he snap capped 7 and seems to have no hate, I could. I think we just have to hope he doesn't have Fire Blast. I don't think we win if he has Fire Blast either way. Assuming he has Fire Blast and another red spell in hand already, I don't think we win. What if his hand's 2 bolts? Or like, yeah, 2 bolts. I mean, I could sat name Lightning Bolt. What I'm thinking is I can play a land, crack Lion's Eye Diamond, discard the 2 bridges, sack an Archivist to Cabal Therapy, get 2 zombies, and I can block Monastery Swift Sphere and get 2 more zombies. Maybe that's good. I actually kind of like that play. I shouldn't have played out that land actually, that was a mistake, because that just opens me up to taking damage from Price of Progress for no reason. Lightning Bolt. Okay. He's got 2 dead Smash to Smithereens. I don't know why you'd side that in. Sure. I'm gonna snap double block this. Not even think. Do I play around in top decking a creature? I don't think I do. I don't think I do in this situation. Okay, that's really good. Because that puts him on lethal next turn if he has no creatures. I don't think he should have killed my Narcomoeba. That maybe he wasn't expecting me to make that block. But I was always going to make that block, I think. If he didn't kill the Narcomoeba, I'd obviously had a block with the Narcomoeba. Yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot now. Unless he's drawn Bolt, Fire Blast, in which case we lose, but if he's done that, he's done that. You can't beat everything. Okay. That's generally, this is the reason why, I mean, look, right, how many times did we dredge this game and we still managed to win, doing so little? We capped an abysmal hand solely because it had an answer to Leyline and it had a Lion's Eye Diamond and dredges, and we just discarded the hand size. And yeah, we did some tricky stuff there with the bridges, and we probably didn't expect us to make that block because people get a bit confused about Bridge from Below. And he sided like idiot, like really, like please don't do this. If you're playing Burn against Dredge, it's just awful. Like if those were 2 bolts, we'd have probably just died. And we managed to win. solid, like, this is the reason why I side blind for Leyline, because you can just win the game without doing much. To be honest, it's just, yeah, is what it is. This is a mulligan. We are on the draw. This is a mulligan too. Does nothing. Also a mulligan does nothing. Mulligan. Got a mult. I mean, it's a hand that does stuff. I gotta put 4 on the bottom, holy shit. God, I'm swearing too much today. Bad me. Hopefully we draw a land. Or hopefully we draw Lion's Eye Diamond. That's the big brain play. Well, that's plains, that means death and taxes. I am just going to big brain it, and I'm going to do this. Because if he has Thalia, we need to draw exactly landed even. Yeah, I mean, look at what we did drawn. Stoneforge is really annoying. Batterskull is really annoying. Might just lose this because of the Malta 3. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna take a draw because we have enough draws that do something, and I don't think we can just beat a Batterskull slow dredging. Okay. This also gives us something to block the Batterskull Germ token. All in all, this is pretty good. I don't want Ox to get... hit with a Swords to Plowshare, so I'm sacrificing it straight away. Oh wait, he wouldn't have done that anyway. Oh, he might have done it during his turn. Yeah. What card do I not want him to have most? I mean, I can't beat a GT Batterskull, but I'm not going to assume he has GT. I think I'm going to take Swords to Plowshares here. Yeah, that's fine. That's good, actually. I'm not going to say that was the best name of all the cards he had in hand, but it's pretty good. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Given that we can Ox. Ox might just single-handedly win us this game, which is interesting because I've been slagging off Ox recently. I've not been too high on it, but yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can return the Icarid and bring back the Ox. I mean, if you swing with the Gem, I'm just going to block and make 4 zombies. That really doesn't seem very good for you. The way to beat Batterskull is just to go wider than it. You also don't want to ever be able to bounce Batterskull. You could sometimes force them to bounce Batterskull and then by threatening to make too many zombies, and then you can take it from their hand with a therapy. That's one of the ways you can beat Batterskull. But a G-Tate equipped to a Batterskull is practically impossible to beat. Like, there are ways to beat it, and you would generally be able to tell when you can beat it, but most of the time, like, if you're in, like, an even board state, and they have a G-Tate Batterskull, just pick up your cards. It's not worth trying to fight through it, like, honestly. That's my view, at least. Yeah, he's about to get slaughtered this turn. Like, not even funny. Oh, someone's phoning me. I'm gonna hang that up. Don't want to speak to them right now. I'm trying to record a very important YouTube video for my lovely subscribers. So I'm going to take Stoneforge Mystic, because that will fetch up the G-Tate I do not want him to get. I will also take Recruiter of the Guard, because that can fetch up, I don't know, maybe he has like a Remorseful Cleric in the deck or something. I could swing, but there's not much point in swinging with anything other than just knocking me here. He's going to go up to like 27, but we just want to be able to kill him through whatever lifelink he has. So generally versus Death and Taxes, a way you lose is by letting them get rid of your bridges too early. You're often better off just going, never attacking until you've got a board big enough to just kill them in one swing. Yeah, Oxymogonus absolutely did work there. We got lucky to draw the land, but it paid off. The one bad thing about this list is it is not in any way set up to deal with Death and Taxes, but Death and Taxes is a good matchup anyway. I actually quite like bringing an Ashen Rider and Dread Return on the on the draw, because Putrid Imp's just such a dead card that like it's not completely dead, but it's just not what you want in the matchup, and I don't like bringing in any of this stuff. I mean, I could bring in a Tear, but it doesn't seem worth it. I mean, yeah, this hand's not any better if I had a Putrid Imp there. This hand's not keepable. This is alright. That would be better if it was a Careful Study, but I mean, what can you do? In fact, do I even keep the Putrid Imp? I think I do. But obviously if I draw a loot spell, I just cast that instead. Well, that's suspicious. Oh, no, he does have a land. Oh, nice, he has a cage too. Okay, cool. You love to see it. I mean, we could bring in shenanigans against that, but have fun trying to cast a 2-mana sorcery speed spell against Death and Taxes with all their mana denial. I don't think it's worth it. personally. Like, yeah, look, there's a wasteland. Maybe we can just kill him with a Putrid Imp. I played weirder games. I don't think we will, but maybe his hand's really bad. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time on this. This is a waste of time. What? I'm going to bring the Putrid Imps back in. Maybe he's got lots of cages, but generally it's just like a one-off. Mulligan this. It's got 2 Narcomoebas, man. I don't know, I don't like this. It loses to Surgical, it loses to Wasteland. It's got 2 Narcomoebas. This is close to a keep against Death and Taxes on the play, but... what the hell, man? Are you kidding me? I can't actually keep that. That's so bad, man. Oh, and he has the cage anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered even if we kept that. Yeah, I'm just gonna scoop it up. It happens. The one thing I dislike is that there aren't that many loot spells in the deck. I mean, there's only one less, but there's not really anything to bring in. Like, I don't know, an extra careful study would help, obviously, as well as having an extra land there. You know, like how many hands did we have to just throw away because we had no lands? Like, if we had an extra land in the main deck and a pedal in the sideboard, like maybe we could have done something there. But we just had no lands on like 3 of our hands there, and we'd have had enough extra study. Maybe this list's just a bit worse against Death and Taxes, but Death and Taxes isn't really a thing in the meta game right now. Yeah, that was a bit unlucky though. That was really unlucky. Maybe we should have kept that 5, but I don't know. Maybe we should have brought in Shenanigans, but also I don't think that's very good. I don't think that's very good against. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe I'm just a moron. I've seen people online tell me that you need to bring in 6 cards against Delver to beat their Grafdigger's cages. Maybe I'm just a moron and I'm not like big brained enough to realise you need to sideboard in 6 cards to beat a 1-of out of Delver that they'll just counter whenever you play any of the spells to destroy it anyway. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I don't think you should bring in 6 cards against Delver. 1-of Shenanigans I could see being defensible, but like against Death and Taxes, no, man. I don't think Shenanigans is worth it against Death and Taxes. It's not the game you're trying to play. I think we just hit the wrong side of the variance there. But as I said, the list could be better set up against Death and Taxes. This is like not a list that you want to be playing against Death and Taxes. There's not enough cards to bring in. Even if we had a claim in the board, like I could see bringing in a claim, because like Putrid Imp's just so not a useful card. And if you have to do a pass the turn, like you have a looting and a breakthrough, If you also can bring in claims, that just like dramatically improves your position against that. Putrid Imp just like a do nothing card. It doesn't combo with Lion's Eye Diamond. Like I love Putrid Imp, but against Death and Taxes, it's like the worst card by like a pretty substantial margin, I'd say. But yeah, whatever. Round 5, we are on the play. This is a keep because it's got 2 loots and a Colosseum. Generally, I try to look for 3 enablers in a hand in order to keep a hand. 2 enablers, it's alright. I probably consider keeping it at 5, but for a 7 or a 6, I want to have 3 enablers in the hand. That's because it's good against Force of Will, and it lets you go really fast. Sometimes decks can beat you just having an enabler into an enabler. Not often game 1, but it's possible to lose game 1 that way. I've certainly lost game 1s against fair decks that way, just if you get bad dredges or you brick. Judging by the pause, I think this might be a Force of Will. It does not. We are lucky. Okay, so Chalice of the Void. Thankfully we laugh at Chalice of the Void with our incredible card Cephalid Colosseum. I would play more copies of Cephalid Colosseum if I could. Fiery Islet is not Cephalid Colosseum. Before anybody smart in the comments is like, but Pingu, you can run more Cephalid Colosseums by running Fiery Islet. I'll punch you in your face. You're stupid. Cephalid Colosseum is a masterpiece. Fiery Islet's like a poor imitation of this. It's the Mona Lisa, and you just like that. You know that mural of Jesus that someone decided to touch up and make better. That's the touched up version. That's Fiery Islet, and this is the Cephalid Colosseum's the original, the true masterpiece work. I'm not even going to discard a Cabal Therapy because I don't think it really matters here. I'm just going to discard black cards. I am, however, going to do that. Hopefully he doesn't just Karn, because we could just lose if he has a Karn. It's possible. If he has like Soul Land into Karn, we can lose. Okay, we're safe from Karn, so I think we win this game because we will be able to get like a bunch of zombies and swing him for a bunch. Okay, so he plays a bunch of stuff and then scoops. Sure, I mean that's a play you can make. Um, he'll have ley lines because they always do. Take out these 4 and this, and I kind of like taking out a therapy for a dread return just because therapy is generally not very good in the matchup. Sometimes you need a dread return is what you need. Against Stompy, I generally don't bring in the against Stompy, I don't bring in the Ashen Rider because they don't generally have anything worth stomping. But against like Eldrazi Post or against Moon Stompy, obviously you want it because they have like lot pieces. What are these hands, man? Like, it's got an answer to Leyline, but you can't keep that. You'll just die. Okay, this is good. This is actually really good. This is like almost like exactly what you're after. You're missing a dredger, obviously, but you have an LED. You've got the hand does stuff. So. I should have probably actually played the Gemstone Mine out just because it like activating the Gemstone Mine helps us get closer to triggering the Cephalid Colosseum. That's the thing you often need to think about when you don't have any draw spells, but you do have a Cephalid Colosseum and a Lion's Eye Diamond. You're like, how can I get 7 cards in graveyard fast enough for this to be relevant? And that's often the way you can do it. Please don't have a Thought Not Sit. Okay, he does not. That is good. I think I name Reality Smasher here. Like, what else could be in his hand? Okay. Okay, we're cool with that. Look like this is fine. One, two. And before he top decks Reality Smasher and we lose. What is this? Okay. So he top deck once upon a time. That really sucks. That sucks. If we top deck a Thug or a Stinkweed Imp, we are okay here though. Or that's really good too. I do this. Actually, I should have discarded Ox in case he top decks a second Thought Not Seer. That was stupid of me. Top deck Reality Smasher. Oh, okay. Okay, this is fine. We're actually still alive. Whew. I was really scared for a second there. I thought he top decked Reality Smasher. This just puts us to dead to a walking ballista. I'm just returning Ox. I think I'll do it twice. There's not actually a reason to do it twice. Kinda there is. Kinda there's a reason to do it twice. Just going to treble turn a big grave troll. Don't see any reason not to. As I said, I think we just win unless he top decks Walking Ballista here, but I'm going to make as much power as I can. I'm just going to pass the turn, hopefully he doesn't top deck Walking Ballista. And he did not, we win. We win. Nice. 2-3. We played against a terrible matchup twice. Probably one of the worst matchups. I'd actually prefer to play against depths, I think, than that. With multiple bogs is just... Oof. No thank you. And then with Emrakuls and Primeval Titans, no. I would prefer not to. We beat Burn, we lost to D&T getting quite unlucky. We beat Eldrazi Stompy quite well. yeah, it was alright. What do I think of the list? I think it's okay. I think it's fine. I don't think there's anything especially bad with the list. Obviously, it did well. It won a challenge. Personally, I'd prefer a 13th land. I think 4 Putrid Imps has certainly felt good. I was testing around with having 3 studies, 2 Putrid Imps, and I was just getting bodied by depths and lands. And Delver was harder than I wanted it to be, so I just went up to 3rd Putrid Imp and it felt better. Obviously, that's a bit like one card's really not going to make that much better, but I think there's a lot to be said about the feel of a deck, especially something like Dredge, because it's very engine based, and there's like, when you actually look at it, there's like 12 payoffs, 12 dredges, 12 land, well 13 lands, and then like the rest's like draw spells and stuff. It's quite clean, you know. It's quite a clean list, and you tweak the numbers, you're affecting numbers elsewhere. But yeah, this one went okay. We did fine. I think it was okay. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Somewhat disappointed we played against the same matchup twice at the start, but thanks for watching. You can do all of the YouTube algorithm stuff if you want to. And yeah, thanks for sticking to the end.